Do you want to know why characters aren't memorable anymore? Well, I can give you a few reasons why, but what I want to talk about is one of two reasons, maybe two reasons why. Not 13 reasons why, but two reasons why characters fail to be memorable and why screenwriters fail to produce memorable characters. That's our subject. Welcome to Saturdays with the Story Dude. I'm your host, Jared Dean Winchester, and let's get right in. So, if you have noticed the change in climate, back from the early days, 80s, 90s, maybe the 50s, even way before that, there were characters that were memorable. But that's not to say it's not happening elsewhere. What I want to tell you, what I want to expose, or rather what I want to discuss, is what really happened. First of the many factors that is happening right now is the political polarization of characters. So a character is created just to make a political stance or to make a political point. And that is exactly what's going on in Hollywood right now. But again, I do stress that that is not to say that it is not happening elsewhere. And what I mean by that is, and the reason why I chose to use double negatives in this sentence is because if you look at movies like RRR and Bahubali, I know I'm referencing Indian movies a lot, but I'm using that as my reference, my best example of why there are characters being created that are not really talked about. Just like the mainstream characters of the day. To explain, let's just take a character like Marty McFly of Back to the Future, or shall we say Frodo of Lord of the Rings. With Lord of the Rings, that is the pre-exception before everything got polarized. Politically polarized. Now, I use those two words specifically and loosely, and here's why. It's the point. If a story writer or if a screenwriter, a director, a producer, if they have a political point to make, they'll do it through characters. But is that really working? I don't think so. What is working is creating memorable characters, and if a real producer, if an authentic screenwriter or filmmaker comes up with legitimate, authentic characters, well, God help them, because the activist groups pounce right on it. They should not care. They should not care about the critics. And authentic characters will get you authentic attention, will get you authentic credibility, authentic famousness. But I digress. When characters like Bahubali and Marty McFly and Frodo from Lord of the Rings are memorable, people tend to use them as references in everyday life, in everyday conversations. I know for this fact because I used it. I used Harry Potter, I've used Frodo, I've used Marty McFly, I've used Back to the Future references, and I've also used plenty of other references from my favorite shows into real life, everyday conversations. So to bring it home, I implore you, the screenwriters, filmmakers, producers of the film industry, the independent film industry, do not fall for this trap. Create authentic characters, and when you do, your audience will thank you for it. And if your story or if your film is a character-based story, or if it's character-based, if it's character-heavy, you making those characters memorable is the key, and it will serve you well. Now, Linda Seeger has a book out there. Now, I've read this book, and I agree with her with some of the information that she's presented. So Linda Seeger has this book called Making Good Scripts Great. And one of the things she discusses is characters. She uses examples from Back to the Future, Tootsie, and Star Wars, and a few other great films of the day to make her point. She uses examples from those films, and they're good examples. So my requirement, or should I say my suggestion to you, always aim to make authentic characters. Leave the polarization, the political polarization out. Make authentic characters, and in doing so, you will earn the respect of your audiences. Thank you for joining me here today. I've been Saturdays with the Story Dude, also known as the Story Dude. Until I see you again, don't forget to turn that page.